It's The Perfect Union, the perfect podcast for the perfect country. Brought to you by your perfect host, Hank Thompson, for you, the perfect listener. Hi, everybody. It's me, Hank. Perfect Union is the politics wing of Winners and Losers Enterprises and Apocalypse training courses. Don't forget to sign up. Forget it all. Forget everything. It's over. Apocalypse canceled. Any training for the apocalypse is overdoing it. You're just being paranoid now. Every student of apocalypse training courses is a fucking idiot. That's how Trump feels about all the Trump University students. Welcome, one and all. Hi there, everybody. It's the final podcast of the Trump era. Our long national nightmare is over. Whew. Just take a deep breath. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Breathe in, and if you're in Los Angeles, you're breathing in the smoke of dead bodies because the plague is so bad here that you are inhaling cremation. They used to have limits on the number of people they're allowed to cremate, and they have since, I was going to do this a little bit later, but fuck it, let's just get going. Here's a little thing from the LA Times. Someone put this on Twitter. So many people have died in Los Angeles County that officials have temporarily suspended air quality regulations that limit the number of cremations. Health officials and the LA County coroner requested the change because the current death rate is more than double that, this is quoted, more than double that of pre-pandemic years, leading to hospitals, funeral homes, and crematoriums exceeding capacity. They forgot to mention that the Cold Stone Creamery is also overburdened these days, without the ability to process the backlog. The South Coast Air Quality Management District said Sunday. I fucked up the syntax of that sentence, and I don't think syntax is the correct way to describe. Okay. Okay. So don't breathe it in. Don't breathe it in. And the other thing about nightmares, now that the Trump nightmare is ending, is if you've ever had a nightmare, they tend to be followed by another nightmare. Would anybody like a oh, shit, I meant to say nightmare. Would anybody like a 3 nightmare lunch? Well, you're about to get it. We're entering the Biden nightmare because what we're in is a capitalist cycle of exploitation, and it's never going to get better. The time bomb of global warming is way too fast for the speed at which we can change. And well, who knows? We'll see. Maybe I'm being pessimistic. It's hard to what I think is pessimism, what I think is honesty probably appears to be pessimism. I'm just calling it like I see it. I'm just the umpire back here, with my big gut hanging over my ball sack going, "Oh, strike, ball." I'm trying to call it like I see it. I'm trying to make fun of people who use that phrase. Tennis judges. Every once in a while, a tennis judge will take a real hard whack off the head, and that's usually pretty entertaining. So anyway, where am I going? I didn't really plan on this one. Weird times. Trying to get back in the saddle, trying to build a saddle, trying to develop new habits, new year, new routines. Already got a bunch of meditation under my belts, and trying to get up. Oh yeah, this is what I've been doing. Getting out of bed soon. Okay, when you wake up, here's when you get out of bed after you wake up. Soon. Don't lay in bed on Twitter, getting all angry and anxious before you've had your coffee, okay? Don't get on Instagram, getting all upset and jealous and horny, okay? Don't do any of that stuff. Don't get on Facebook, getting all radicalized to believe that satanic Nazis, I don't know. Your parents are on there being idiots. All of our dumb fucking parents. Just sounds like I'm making fun of my parents. I don't even think. I am so grateful. Here's a sudden detergent. I almost said tangent is the word I was looking for. Deterrent. Wait, not detour and tangent. And I came out with detergent. I am so fucking grateful that I am old enough where my parents can't type. My parents, I am the last generation of people, and maybe there's a little flex to this last generation business, but I am the last generation of people whose parents can't use the internet. I mean, plenty of people my parents' age are in their like late 60s-ish, maybe early 70s coming up here. God, everybody's just slowly fucking spinning around the sun a bunch of times until they die. Isn't that weird? What a rude thing to do to somebody. Existence. But my parents are that age where plenty of people that age can do the internet. Plenty of people that age can be really good with computers and stuff. But my parents aren't those folks. They always struggled with things that required buttons and pressing and type, and they never learned how to really type properly. And meaning they're not good computer internet savvy folks. They're certainly using it some. My mom is starting to quite a bit more. My dad has been on it for a little while. He used to be able to play launch video games, likes to play Duke Nukem. So not complete Luddites, if that's even the right word. Although I think Luddites is more of an expression of an intention to not want to embrace technology. I honestly have no idea. But there was a time where, what the hell am I trying to say? Oh yeah. Anyway, I am just so glad that I don't have to worry that my parents are going to send me emails. My dad can send emails, but it's it takes him 20 minutes to attach a picture of a fish that he caught or something. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. It's all good. So they're slowly gaining skills, but I am sure the Father Time and his best friend Death are going to alleviate me of the concerns regarding getting emails from my parents. And then I'll be sad that I never get to hear emails from them because heaven has terrible Wi-Fi. There's just all 2,600 baud modems up there. And you know who gets to use it? I said modems. It's not. It's one modem. It's God. God gets to use the modem. He is downloading porn off of BBSs, okay? Really bad photoshops of the young actor from Married with Children on a porno face, okay? Yeah, I downloaded one of those in the midnight. I'm having a strange memory right now. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. This is how we start the show, new people. This is the kind of podcast you can expect around here. I'm not going to go super long. It's 6:40 p.m. here on the year of our Lord 2021, or as it feels like 3042. I feel like I have aged 1,000 and 3042 my 1,021 years, right? That's about right. Hell yeah. In these last times. And so I just wanted to get one in here before the Trump is officially over. So yeah, I don't know why. It's just, what a weird fucking, the day, that memory came into my head the other day. I was just reflecting on past times. The day after the Trump election, I went to Jimmy Dore's house to do a show. It was just I don't know why that jumped in my brain. I just remember talking to Jimmy Dore about fucking Trump winning the election in his living room the morning after Trump won the election. That was that was back in 2016. So what a weird, horrible thing to do to oneself, what society has done with this situation. We have put the embodiment of all of America's deep foundational principles in charge. He is just not clever enough to hide it. Unlike Biden. We all think that this is, the coup was insane, the insurrection, the putsch, P-U-T-S-C-H, which is just a magnificent word. I love that word, putsch. It means a sloppy storming. I don't know. There's the beer hall putsch, which was part of the Nazi uprising. I think Hitler went to jail for that one in the 20s or something like that. 1920s, not the 20s we've just entered. And, wow, geez, why did I clarify that? Who would have thought that? No, Hitler was in the jail in just last year. So that was a sloppy ending to this whole mess. It's all gonna. It was never not gonna be terrible and sloppy. Over the last week, I've been watching the insurrectionists get arrested and caught and tracked down for the crime of invading a government and trying to replace it with your own guy. It's just, what a fucking stupid world and a shitty society. The obvious thing, I'm not going to belabor this. I don't have anything produced for this, but it's so clear, the difference. In fact, I do have a video. The difference with which these people are treated than compared to the way Black Lives Matters protesters are treated, the way union, damn it, I don't have the video loaded up, but there's a cops busting up a picket line, a bunch of striking workers. That's a blast from the past, huh? Maybe, gee, it's almost like the police are just an arm of a racist, institutionalized, capitalist hierarchy, a racial apartheid system. Wow, it's almost like that's the origin of them. That's what they're still literally doing. They're the talons of the demon. And so you couldn't possibly look at this situation and suggest that there's a way that the cops are treated differently. I'm very interested in learning more about there's going to be a big investigation into what happened, as there should be, because these guys had a lot of operational assistance from people in the Trump administration, probably, well, literally all the way up to Trump. So there's a chain of command from the Q shaman all the way down, all the way up to Trump. Actually, this Q shaman guy, he's going to be president someday. He's going to inherit it from Barron or something like that. They're going to put his head in a jar. The jar's going to have like extra glass horns, just for the horns poking out. And this fucking numbnuts would have, if he were black or Muslim or a leftist, or just suggesting to the police that they shouldn't execute people in the streets and then get away with it. Not that the correct answer is that, oh yeah, go ahead and execute them, but then we won't let you get away. We don't want any executions in the streets. On screen here, we're about to watch a video. The New Yorker is on the little lower right thing. I don't know why. What like they must have paid. Whatever. We're watching it now. It just couldn't be more clear the differential between the way police are used depending on who is expressing their freedoms, which is another way of saying America is not a free country. The distribution of freedom is wildly off. And it's tilted towards the whiteys, myself included. I was in the Capitol that day. I was up in the rafters observing, taking notes. But it wasn't even rafters. I was just pressing against the walls up at the very tippy top of the curve. You know, the curvy part at the middle? That's the only place you can do that. I'm very strong. Like Black Orchid, the player, and one of the players on the Avengers. Isn't it Black Orchid? What's her face? The one that she stars in the movie Her, starring Joaquin Phoenix. Anyway, here is the Q guy going in. I think this is about a 30-second video. I'll probably pause it. Let's hit play, and let's just enjoy the privilege. Just let it wash all over you, down your chin and onto your chest. Man, thank God we don't gain weight like right at the nape of our... I mean, we can a little bit. Imagine if you had like big fat deposits on your forehead and your dick and your like right below your... Okay, here we go. Oh, Premiere Pro.
Hey! Fucking hey, man. Glad to see you guys.
Awesome, bro. Now look who's behind him. A cop. And he doesn't have his nose covered by the mask. As if that's the big violation. Also, another thing to point out, you see this American flag pole this guy's carrying? It's a spear. Maybe it's a plastic spear. It's a giant weapon. It's a 6-foot knife. It's a fucking spear. See it? See the spear?
Patriots. Look at this guy.
So there's a cop coming behind him. And these guys are talking to each other. I know I interrupt. Let's back it up. Just listen to these numbnuts talk. Here's the Q shaman walking in, being all. Now he's in jail, and hopefully, he's probably going to get released with like a trip to Burger King and an apology and a hand job from the judge. Anyway, here he is.
Fucking hey, man. Glad to see you guys. You guys are fucking patriots. Look at this guy.
Yo, we're the government now, bro. We just got to call it all out. Somebody, you're in Interior Department. You're the new Betsy DeVos.
Yeah, covered in...
This cop is just sort of keeping an eye. Nobody... This is the People's Chamber. I don't know if this is the House. I think this is the Senate.
Well, God bless you.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a guy sitting in front of the like big ugly marble dais or whatever. Some of these, there's probably some fancy words for what they call these interior decorating things inside halls of Congress. And I guess he's bloody a little bit. I can't really tell. He's on the phone.
You good, sir? Do you need medical attention?
I'm good, thank you.
All right.
The cop is asking him, "You good, sir? Sir? Excuse me, sir. May I fetch you a Band-Aid? May I fetch you a little snuggle whooshy?" The cop goes up and puts his forehead on his cheek to see if he's got a temperature, and maybe he needs a phone call to stay home from school so he can stay home and play video games. So this dude is sitting. These people have invaded a government. I know it has the sophistication of a dog who caught the car. I understand that, but this is how they treat some people who have invaded, and the cops are intentionally outnumbered, meaning they weren't prepared on purpose. There was, we'll learn more about that as the weeks go on and on. So I rewound a little bit. Here's some more.
You good, sir? Do you need medical attention?
I'm good, thank you.
All right.
I'm good, thank you. Okay, all right. Don't just let me know. You stub your toe. You need maybe your nails clipped. Maybe I need to wipe the diarrhea smears off your taint. You just let me know, okay? I'm here to serve you. To protect and serve means to protect property and serve white people. We just don't say those other parts.
I got shot in the face. Where are they?
I got shot in the face.
I got shot in the face with some kind of plastic bullet.
Ooh, a plastic bullet. We call those water bottles, dumb fuck. Now the Q guy, camera pans up. Tilt. That's a tilt, not a pan. Jesus. Tilts up, and he is standing in the center of power. They have invaded the Citadel of Liberty. Well, it's the Citadel of Q now, okay? That's why we're going to call it the Cutadel of Liberty.
Any chance I could get you guys to leave the Senate wing?
So did you hear that? Any chance I could get you guys to leave the Senate wing? I'm just going to leave this up to you. Here, play it again.
Any chance I could get you guys to leave the Senate wing?
Hey, would you guys mind leaving the Senate wing? I know I'm heavy. I know I'm armed. I know I have mace. I have batons. I have a cavalry I could call up. Although, to be fair, his cavalry was busy and not there. And he has a gun and a taser. I assume. I mean, if he's a cop, he's got to have all that. He's probably got bat juice, which is what Batman uses when he was a cop. And it's actually just tiny bats. They're so small. They're liquid. Bat juice. One more time.
Any chance I could get you guys to leave the Senate wing?
Well, let me think about that for a second. No, well, we're here now. And we're white. This is our government. Our answer is no. Sorry, officer. Why don't you go waddle on out of here, officer fuckface?
We will. I've been making sure they ain't disrespecting the place.
Oh, this guy's just making sure it's not being disrespected. Is he keeping Exxon out? Is he keeping Pepsi out? Is he keeping Microsoft and Apple out? Is he keeping the corporate behemoths and all the ones up the supply chains that we don't know about because they're not retail companies? The ones that carve the minerals out of the ground and exploit labor and the farming giant farming conglomerates? Is he keeping them away from the Senate? No, of course not.
Okay, just want to let you guys know this is like the sacredest place.
Hey, just so y'all understand, okay? Like Cold Stone Creamery has discount, but if you go to multiple stores, you can actually get them to honor it twice. Okay, some fucking tips for you new invaders, my overlords. That's cop is these guys are they all probably played Donkey Kong at the same birthday parties growing up. You know what I mean? They're all on the same team anyway. One more time, not the whole thing.
We will. I've been making sure they ain't disrespecting the place.
Okay, just want to let you guys know this is like the sacredest place.
I know. Hey.
And he's good. He's just like, I can't tell what happened. He's like kind of leans up. It's the sacredest place. I just want to hear it.
Okay, just want to let you guys know this is like the sacredest place.
It's the sacredest place. This is the Citadel of Sacredity, okay? It's sacrosanct. It is lugubrious, which is not at all near there. I was trying to go with synonyms for sacrosanct and sacred. Special. Holy. Monument. No. Yeah. Okay. Well, there it is. All right. That happened. That video is just fucking crazy. Who the hell can? This is the world we live in. This is what we're dealing with here. This is our new reality. Same as the old reality. Okay, I'm losing my train of thought here, obviously, as you can tell. So yeah, that was crazy. That's all fucked up. Oh yeah, the corporations. There's the photo. I don't have it of the guy carrying the Confederate flag, and you keep hearing like, oh. Even like liberal centrist-y types, these numb nuts, these tribalistic fools, going, "Oh my God, I can't believe that there's a Confederate flag at our nation's capital. This didn't even happen during the Civil War. We haven't been under attack since the British burned the White House in 1812. Martha Jefferson had to escape with the portrait of Lincoln. It was very." They had a Nostradamus working there. He was painting pictures of future presidents. I had a picture of Kennedy. I was going to make a really inappropriate joke there about November 22nd, but I won't. Yeah. So the Confederate flag is definitely deeply ingrained in the roots of America. I mean, you know, the phrase I've heard, I think rings true, is the South lost the war but won the peace. Like, we've just, instead of really dealing with the horrendous genocidal racist origins of this country, not to mention the incredible sexism, of course, you know, it's all folded in to maintaining a power differential to as small a group as possible. Precisely what your fucking company does. Precisely what the world is still designed to do, is to prevent power from being shared and only to concentrate it further. But instead of reconciling with that and really trying to not just move past it, but to, you know, properly repair the damage and to set people whole and to work on the minds of white people, the who are also victims of this ridiculous system. Instead of any of that, we just folded the racism deeper and deeper into the fabric of the country. So the Confederate flag has existed within the house. Just because you see the symbol walking through. Unfortunately, symbols are so important because that's how narratives are spread. As people understand symbols, we have symbolic comprehension. It's as ridiculous as flags are, and ridiculous as any. It all does kind of relate to abstract comprehension of abstract concepts. What am I trying to? What the fuck do I know? So I get why people react so powerfully to symbols, but the thing is that flag has been in the country ever since, and it's been flying in every state capital, and it's been flying in every meeting, because we have not rooted it out. We haven't even tried. One of the ways white supremacy works is that white people, and myself included, I am guilty of this, is that we are trained and we are determined to protect each other's comfort. We do not like to make other white people uncomfortable. So even when we encounter something we might disagree with or might have an icky feeling about, we're still not going to say anything because it's uncomfortable. So that and the speed of forgiveness, the second chanceism that exists. Nevertheless, an even more profane thing, symbolic presence, which is a much better term than thing, that we are experiencing, that this capital is rife with, riven with, is corporate power. Corporate fucking power. The new kingdoms of modernity. If Earth didn't run out of land, they just would have kept carving out land and calling themselves kings. Little fiefdoms, little power centers. So corporations are just it's just another iteration. If you almost think of like an archaeological dig, we're down at the bottom, you got the clay pottery, then you got like the Nintendos, and then up here where we are, we've got Nintendo Switches. Okay? Just like an archaeological layer. Corporations are just another layer above kingdoms. Of course, we still have kingdoms because we're still in a ridiculous part of humanity right now. If we get out of this, if we somehow get past this insanity of this world, where we are, where we're letting just a few people murder billions of humans, including trillions who could have been born in the future, destroying a really fucking gloriously perfect and beautiful planet, a really special, rare type of place. Earth is a really fantastic spaceship to be on. It's the people and the culture that's kind of made it all kind of a misery. But if we get past all this and they look back on this era, they are going to think we are the biggest fucking suckers and idiots. And also maybe they'll have some sympathy for the deliberate lack of power that the masses were prevented from realizing, starting with reducing their self-worth from the very beginning, using religion and using cultural conditioning and propagandistic history and a shitty education system and all the other ways we're taught to only value yourself by how you contribute to the cancer that is capitalism. How do you make money? What do? You meet a stranger. What do you ask him? Oh, well, hey, how are you? Oh, yeah, no, you're nice. Yeah, you're shorter than me, aren't you, you dumb fuck? Oh, yeah, what do you do? What the fuck do you do? Oh, you do something important? Okay. Well, I'm not going to make certain assumptions about you that I'm not even aware I'm making. Would you like to work on a project together? Maybe we could make money. I fucking hate money. Not just because I have a very difficult time getting enough from me, but I just think it makes everybody insane. It turns rich people into psychopaths, or it accelerates their psychopathy that they got them there, or just their inherent. It melts their brains. If you don't have enough of it, you die. It's just so like it need. There might be other ways of assessing what is valuable and what isn't. But the best we've come up with so far is symbolic agreements to exchange debts for behavior, or for goods. By the way, guys, new announcement. This show is sponsored by Pepsi. Pepsi. Drink Pepsi. Drink Pepsi. Put it in your face. And then let's let your body will take it from there. Oh, the bottle? Put it in a whale's blowhole. Go down to the beach, climb up onto a whale, and stuff the Pepsi bottle deep into its blowhole so that nature may continue the cycle of life. Pepsi. Drink Pepsi. What if like Pepsi, Coke has what are those? The snow gorillas? What are those? The polar bears. What if Pepsi did a polar theme, but instead of polar bears, it was narwhals? See, I was trying to think of something funny. I realized I couldn't, so I came up with the only animal that is silly. They're silly. They have a sword. They have a spear poking out, like a 6-foot spear. What are they? Me when I'm horny? Oh God, I'm a little over caffeinated, guys. Sorry about that. My roommate was kind enough, and I got a Diet Coke, so I'm trying to quit the caffeine. But if I'm given free caffeine, I'm gonna fucking burn it in a spoon and squirt it in my dick hole. Mm-mm. Okay. All right. Well, what the hell am I rambling about? Pepsi. The corporations are the rotten, immortal entities. I did a tweet thread. Here we go, guys. We're quoting our own Twitter. Oh, by the way, another game I'm going to do tonight. I have not seen news since about 1 this afternoon. It's the 19th of Lord Year 2021. And I'm no Trump is going to pardon a bunch of people. I don't know if that's been announced yet. So we're going to check it live. And you will hear my reaction, because I am actually planning on being a little upset that he's letting these insurrectionists go because of the disparity. And this is also the kind of awkward position. It's like, I don't want the police to be brutal to anybody, especially protesters and people who are exercising their free speech who caused some civil disobedience. But this was not civil disobedience. This was invading a government. This is overturning an election under order from the leader of a country who was refusing to concede power. Like, that's a very historic crime. Anyway, that's back to the whole, judges love to give white guys hand jobs and stuff. Trust me, I've had several. And I wasn't even on trial. The judge just, it was arm day. So what the fuck was I? Where I was going somewhere next. God damn it, it's gone. It's totally gone. Shit, it really is gone. Oh, right. My tweet thread. Jesus. I'm not going to read or post it. Where the hell did it go? I thought I had it up. I was actually, okay, let me just get to it. I think that above a certain size, corporations should be required to have civilian representation on their boards. That could be a government job, but you're a civilian. Like, it could be funded. It could be funded in partnerships. There could be sovereign wealth fund. There's all sorts of ways of organizing money that doesn't have to require, putting it on the private islands and the tax shelters like Delaware or the Cayman Islands or all over else. There's a few other places in the world where power doesn't have to be always concentrated. So I was just saying, this is in terms of why mortals, you and me, my parents, blessed may they be for being bad at computers, all of our children, all of our dogs, not the birds and turtles, they don't die. But all of the rest of us mortals have to be ruled by these immortal beings, these corporations. You can't kill them. They can eat each other. They can cut each other up into pieces, devour them. They can occasionally die off, maybe, like the horseshoe industry. Meaning, when tires were invented, obviously there's still recreational horseshoes. But why are we ruled by these fucking things? The power is completely reversed the wrong way. So how would you actually pull back some of that power? One way I don't know why I'm deciding to do a list here, but cap, that's the right word. Cap asset ownership at a certain amount. Make it pretty high. I think it should be really high, actually. Like, really fucking high. More than you could ever really spend in a lifetime. I think that's fair. I think $50 million sounds about right. $50 million is a fuck ton of money. You know how happy your life would be if you just made $100,000 a year for 40 years? That's $4 million in earnings. You could invest some of it, maybe grow it to something, a little rainy day fund. Little diabetes fund for when you're old and your liver, your pancreas is shot because you've been consuming Doritos for a living. You do great with that amount of money. 50 million is way more than that. But we, of course, don't have a cap on that. I saw an article a few months back about how it was a praising article saying that, Bezos might become the world's first trillionaire, as if that was an achievement. Talk about a robbery. He didn't do all those deliveries, motherfucker. So that's one way. That's not what I'm getting at. Another way is to distribute who makes the decisions a little more equitably. So above a certain level, you start to gain a certain level of influence over society. There's sound rules. You're not allowed to make sound over certain decibels before they show up and say, hey, you're disturbing too many people. There's speed limits where a cop comes over and says, hey, you just ran over a bunch of people, fucker. Here's a hand job. Go to court and get a hand job, you white guy. There is all sorts of restrictions when things are harmful, except on power, except on wealth, which is a way we add symbolic transactional capability to power. So reduce that. Put people on the corporate boards if we're even going to organize with corporate boards. Maybe that's not the only way to do something. I imagine there's, it's a meeting. It's a group. I generally prefer group decision making over individual decision making. Not that you don't occasionally need to have, things can coalesce around certain types of leaders, because human beings definitely have that built into them in a way where we sort of, especially in these larger, what's the right word? Just it's not like we're like a tribe of like 80 people where we could all just one guy starts being a dick, we'll just go fucking throw him off a cliff. It's not like those days. It's so we have these massive pluralistic, huge, societies, and which is part of the reason why so much shitty men and women are able to get away with being terrible leaders, because the downstream costs of their bad decisions are not seen or felt by anyone near them. That is to say, pollution, mineral extraction, and all the other ways that we deplete the world's resources and make it worse for others. It's just they're separated from the consequences of their negative decisions. Externalities is the word they teach you in business school. But citizens should be on boards of companies that are big enough. Worker representation should be on boards of companies that are big enough. I know that Germany has a law requiring, I think it's 40% of the board is made up of union reps or worker representation. I don't know exactly the details, but it works fine. Yes, I mean, these are all what we call stakeholders. We really do need some stakeholders to come through. And by that I mean vampire hunters. These are immortal vampires, these corporations. We should hold a stake carefully above their hearts and then drive it in. Maybe with the mallet that I built in my woodworking business. So, I don't know why I'm rambling about this. That's not even trying to, but I was just thinking about there should be automatic triggers that kick in if you get to a certain size. And it should be kind of big, like $10 million company or, certain, whatever it is. Okay, we're going to have these large behemoths. Well, let's put some brakes on them in terms of the amount of damage. Like let's diversify the stakeholders, I guess. That is to say, to the people who are harmed by them. I don't know. It just makes sense. Maybe even a random draw. 10% of the board should just be a random ass people who are plucked out of nothing to make 75 grand a year. I don't know. I'm not saying I have these all figured out. I just know that the people whose only skill is that they were already rich shouldn't be the ones calling all the shots for how these companies work, because they're not fulfilling their obligations. They're not fulfilling their responsibilities to the planet. The time frame is all fucked up. Quarterly profits. They have to make more money this year. Oh, you only made 4% profit in January of 2020. Well, in January of 2020, if you don't make 4.5% profit, you're going to get fired. Stock price is going to go down. You're going to it's just fucking with numbers. So they have this aggressive business cycle. That's the other thing, another idea I've had, okay? I'm just that guy who goes to Applebee's and goes, hey, why don't they have the door on that side of the building? That's where the parking lot is. That's what I'm doing with politics. Because the door is facing the highway, you fucking idiot. They want it to feel like a home. I hate suburbs. I'm from there. I think there's like a guy who's like one of the Uruk-hai from Mordor, who's just like, or from Saruman's house, and is like, oh, fucking hate where the Saruman lives. I can't think of where he lives. Middle Tower, the Black Tower, the White Tower. Lord of the Rings. If you haven't heard of it, Google it. So I had a third idea there that was just went away. It's gone. I'm not going to bother. Whatever. It's not that important. So, okay, cool. Yeah, it's going to be nuts, guys. It's a final thought on Trump here now that I'm having it here. And I do want to keep this somewhat short, over 30 minutes already. The Trump influence, we don't have a choice, but we're going to find out what his post-presidency is like, and I think it's a safe bet it's going to be calamitous. Luckily, he won't have nuclear weapons. He won't have the power of the bully pulpit. He won't have... Sorry, Diet Coke coming back at me. He won't have... Oh, yeah, guys, drink Pepsi. He won't have all this influence over society. Hopefully, he never gets his Twitter account back. Whatever. He's probably going to... But he still can pull all kinds of bullshit. He has an enormous megaphone, and even after he's not the president anymore, he will. He's probably going to create some sort of media enterprise, but he's definitely going to be a kingmaker in a sense, a conservative demigod whose approval is highly sought after within the conservative movement. This could change. If the media billionaires all decided that it's time to get rid of him, although they've probably lost control of the Hydra that they created. All the Krakens that are out. By the way, quick aside, a movie or a show about hunting Krakens, because too many got released. Isn't that a good idea? We just go after all the Krakens. I would call it Unrelease the Krakens. All right, adjust my chair for that. Okay, all right. So who knows what his post-presidency is going to be like? I'm sure it'll be annoying. It'll be a big relief. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time, Joe Biden will be inaugurated, and a much more clever white supremacist will be in charge of the country, along with their corporate influenced and corporate first profit. Joe Biden, some reporting from the Daily Poster, which is a David Sirota media thing, that he's lifted language for the healthcare proposal straight from health insurance lobbyists, from a fucking industry that kills tens of thousands of people a year. I don't have all the details. I don't want to quote it exactly. But of course, it's who he works for. You know, they say it's like, just touching back on a point I already made, but like how gross the Confederate flag is and how gross the cops were for kind of letting all these guys in. Just letting them wander into the Capitol. Well, Joe Biden is, and almost every congressperson and senator and whatever else does exactly that for the corporations. They just don't go marching in wearing horns and spears. They go in briefcases. They're ideologically aligned. The Pelosi's of the world. They just usher in corporate policies, corporate first, profit first, and you can, if one of Joe Biden's healthcare company donors Health insurance company donors made a slightly bit more profit, made that stock price inch up just a little bit because they didn't have to pay for your medicine, for you to see a doctor, for you to get treatment, and you had to live under the stress of that system until it kills you, bankrupting your family, depleting your savings. If one of his donors made just a little bit more money with you dead than with you alive, that's capitalism working the way it's supposed to work. And he's a defender of that system. He is a fucking shitty, evil person. I'm sorry. I am not falling. Don't fall for this bullshit. It's hard not to because the old boyfriend is such an abusive piece of shit. But now we got this other guy. His dad could drive a car. So could he. He said he was proud that his dad could drive a car. Like, yeah, I know. My dad could drive a car too. You know who's better at driving a car than my dad? Me. I'm not sure if that's true. My dad's a decent driver. This guy, it's all this propaganda. It's all news. It's all rule by image manipulation. Even Kamala Harris with her fucking shoes. Somehow that was a story about a magazine that made a Vogue or something. Why is the vice? Okay, it's all this celebrity. It's all this fame seeking. Every day that goes by, their speaking fees will go up when they're out of office. She's still pretty young. I imagine she might become president someday. There was a blow up, dust up. I didn't pay too close attention, but they were like upset because the photo they used showed her ankles because she had her jeans rolled up a little bit with the shoes. But they've made a big deal about these shoes that she wears to show that she's just like a regular old folk. This is the same bullshit that's always been around. This is stuff that people are tired of seeing, this inauthentic nonsense coming out of politicians. Bernie doesn't do that. I wear bowling shoes. I'm sorry, I was thinking about, I'm not going to do a full Bernie thing here right now. It's so late for that. That's more of a morning activity. What the hell was I talking about our shoes for? Rule by propaganda. We're just going to be looped into yet another media manipulation scheme. I mean, it's always been like that. And it would be difficult to undo that. It wouldn't happen quickly. So I not for a second have I fallen for this nonsense. You know, there are people that, oh, he's a decent guy. We've got a man who cares in office now. It's so nice to not. Yeah, it's nice to not have Trump. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Let's go nuts. But it's going to be better. It's certainly going to be less stressful. A lot of people are going to, unclench their shoulders. Almost said ball sacks. Unclench their shoulders a little bit and relax their guard a little bit and maybe stop paying as close attention. And that's okay. I don't think the price of getting people to focus is that we should have to have a psycho like Trump in office and the GOP and the conservatism that he represents. Because that's all other thing. It's kind of annoying. Well, there's a lot of shit that's annoying. We didn't just survive Trump. We just survived conservatism. This was conservatism that came after the world. It just happens to be an ugly, distasteful version of it, but it is very much just this impulse to fear and to concentrate power and to limit your horizons of understanding and to shrink your in-group, the people who you deem worthy of your worry, who you deem worthy of help, worthy of assistance. That's all it is. I want to expand that. I think my in-group is 10,000 diameters wide, 25,000 diameters in circumference. The whole Earth. Everybody. Literally. Even cats and turtles. But the conservative wants that in-group to be wealthy white landowners. Wait, sorry, that's an old CEOs and their buddies who they go to the rape islands with. The kings of modernity. They want to limit the size of the group that gets power. You know, one argument, you hear various framings and Martin Luther King Day and the quote that America is socialism for the rich and rugged individualism for the poor, or for everybody else, I think it is. Not to parse Martin Luther King. He's right. I mean, but the point being, as a concept, is a broad, nebulous idea that there are sort of more specific angles to socialism, I think, that are worth talking about. I'm not trying to get into like a pedantic debate or whatever, but there is we've all been taught to never expect help from the government, to never expect anything to be solved from the government. And I think a good argument that belies that bullshit idea is that why is there an entire industry devoted that is only available to wealthy people? There's a massive, endless industry devoted to rich people getting help from the government. It's called lobbying. It's called campaign donations, legalized bribery. It's not just campaign donations. Janet Yellen, who I don't know if she had her hearing today, she's going to be the finance secretary, not the head of the Treasury, I think, right? I'm sorry. I've been doing a lot of woodworking, meaning not paying super close attention. But, she made like $7 million in speeches before now, over the last whatever years. Oh, what? She's not allowed to make $170,000 for a speech? No, she's not. She's a highly acclaimed bureaucrat, regulator, a person who could be appointed in the future to some important financial position where a company will curry her favor. So yeah, no, it's not okay. The only person who's worth $170,000 for a speech is George Carlin. No, I'm joking around. Jim Gaffigan is also pretty good. So all these ways that corruption flows through our society, and I've here we go. I've lost my damn train of thought again. Oh yeah. So socialism for the rich, though, they get to enjoy abundance of security. They know that if they have a problem, first of all, they have so much money. And I know I'm speaking in broad generalizations, but we're talking about the 1%ers and even the top 10%. But that L curve where the wealth distribution goes straight into the sky all the way at the very 0.1%, the 1%ers. They enjoy what our ancestors enjoyed, which is they know someone will look out for them. It's all been distorted and twisted by modernity and culture and greed and capitalism and all this other stuff. This strange status anxiety, this pissing match, oh, that guy's plane is a model 2019 and I only bought a 2017. That sucks. I'm not doing very well. Humans have a propensity to assess their status upwards more than downwards. We tend to go, I don't have as much as the 2020 Toyota Tercel, as opposed to saying, at least I'm not driving a 2018 Toyota Tercel, I'm just 2019, right? Stuck in the fucking middle. So anyway, Jesus Christ, Hank, what the fuck? All I'm saying is, if people in your life are trying to suggest that the government is the problem, and the government is always going to be the problem, and you shouldn't ever rely on the government, first of all, I'm not saying they should do everything for everybody, but we need to have a functioning government. There's little other options. Although I am interested in anarchism, and I haven't yet looked into that exactly as a concept as deeply enough that I feel like I should be commenting on its ins and outs yet. It's a term that's been, gained some Google trend rankings probably in the last few years, especially in my consciousness, but I still haven't looked into it super close. But the government is a active, daily participant in the health of the very wealthy. So socialism, in that sense, that they rely on enormous government intervention, enormous government largesse, a responsive political system, people in power who cater to them, take their calls, answer their questions, kiss their ass, give their daughters jobs at Facebook. Chuck Schumer's daughter works at Facebook. She's a janitor. She cleans up diarrhea. Mark Zuckerberg has a prolapsed Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry. Sweet baby Ray. They're awash in it. They're awash in the government being part of their life. That's why they have a whole fucking huge industry devoted to controlling it. And they just need to spread that group out. Make it so that the government gives a shit about everybody. And we're not there. That's just the power differentials don't really work towards redistribution of power, which is a way of saying redistribution of stress. The security of knowing that you've got someone that'll have your back no matter what is something our ancestors mostly enjoyed, is from everything I've learned about hunter-gatherer communities and having anybody around to look out for you. The absurdity of it in modern times is that these rich fucks that are getting all this generous socialism from the government, from the society in which they are the kings and the queens, they would be fine without any government. They would be fine for millions of years if they didn't have any more help from the government. Yet they still get it every single fucking day. Okay. Good podcasting there, Hank, you dumbass. All right, so where are we at here? 52 minutes. Q guy in the Capitol. Got another Trump video. I was going to announce this. I should have done this at the beginning. But Bum Rush Industries, my little woodworking project, is... I finally got the second video done. It took forever. 2020 had a lot of obstacles. And I finally got it done and published. So I would love it if you went and watched it. Please go to the link in the description or Bum Rush Industries. Look for Balcony Workbench on YouTube. I'm just going to play a short little bit of the beginning, and that's all. I just want to share this with you. I'm very proud of it. This music is by a SoundCloud artist named Lakey Inspired, who has this really great fucking cool, I like this kind of music. Just good tunes, and he says that you can use his stuff in videos, so I'm shouting him out for the immensely talented free stuff I'm using for my woodworking videos. And there's another song in here. I hope that's Lakey too. If not, I'll I gotta figure out. Shit, I think it is him. Okay, anyway, here's the beginning of this second video. So this is fun. I give the top several days to dry, and it doesn't fall apart when I take the clamps off. That's a good start. But before I can flatten it, I have to flatten this. It's a Tay Tools number 62 low-angle jack plane I bought on Amazon for $140. I've never used a hand plane before, but with enough YouTube tutorials, a firm grip, and big, sloppy dreams, I'm confident I'll muddle through. Side note, I wish I'd seen Rex Kruger's excellent comparison video. All right, so that guy Rex Kruger does a great YouTube channel, by the way. Really good woodworking videos. Yeah, so there's the intro. Nice little, hey, I'm a guy talking. Let's jump ahead to this little bit. This is a part a little too cool for school, probably a little bit. There's a visual component to this where I'm holding a shaving up to a board. So if you're not watching the video, you're missing a joke. But it's still entertaining enough from an audio perspective. Here we go, play. Shavings are another source of information, and just kind of fun to play with. See? Look at that. Isn't that one cool? Wrong board, dummy. It's flat enough for wood filler, but there's something in the way. Dried glue. I could leave it as is or fill around the glue, but I want it to be consistent, so I get busy chiseling and scraping, trying a variety of tools I had laying around. So now you're seeing a man chisel and scrape away with a variety of tools he had laying around at a bunch of boards and scraping glue out from a board. So this is the part of the work. I'm a year behind this shit. I've been making stuff. I'm actually making some candle holders. Check out my Instagram if you're curious. But I'm so far behind in the editing. We're gonna keep playing this one a little bit too because I like the music. There's a nice little ditty coming up. This chisel works, sort of. But it's never been sharpened, so I fire up the sandpaper and give it a good going over, hoping a sharper intersection will be easier to work with and do less damage. I even give it a micro bevel. That's that right there. That's the micro bevel. The next day, I get back to Operation Get Out of Here Glue and make quick work of the offending substance. All right, so yeah, there you go. Bum Rush Industries woodworking video. It's got 20 views already. 20. Can you believe it? I worked in the YouTube world for fucking years. I put so much work into this video. I put in several hours per view at this point right now. But I'm actually quite happy with the quality of this stuff, and I hope that when the series is done, the workshop, the workbench build, it'll really stand as sort of like a nice, entertaining hour to hour and a half of really good, highly produced videos, and kind of with my own character and personality folded into the whole thing. So yeah, that's cool. Thank you for checking it out. I really appreciate it. And I'm also building out the website, working on that a bunch, getting ready to launch my others. I have a few other websites for my Hank Thompson comedy and stuff, and I'm updating shit. And, when nothing quite says like I'm really trying to, like, I really need to make some money than a fucking guy, comedian, actor, writer, creative creative career guy, updating his website, which everybody goes through. We all have to do this every once in a while. But I like the Bum Rush Industries site, which is not online yet, but that's going to be like a e-commerce. I literally need to sell shit. So this is hopefully a way for, if I can work up the gumption to do a Patreon and to ask for people's support. I don't believe I've earned it. I'm not consistent enough with it yet. If you're willing to throw down and help me out, I definitely will. It'll also help me be more accountable. But as I've said, I'm trying to make my own merch, and I'm trying to share it and trying to use my video and filmmaking skills to tell the story of doing a woodworking business. And the ultimate dream is I can move the fuck out of Los Angeles and live near some trees, live near fewer people. I still want to be, within, a decent drive, a trip into town. That would be okay. But I'd love a woodworking shop, and I would love to be able to do podcasting and woodworking, and you could buy my shit and everything. I'm trying to live my principles as much as I'm able to here in a way that somehow, some way or another might make sense. Using found furniture and construction lumber, that adds a nice randomness to the whole process. Like I'll have limited supplies of various things. Not against buying, wood, but I've been watching a lot of nice, relaxing YouTube suggestion, by the way. Look up milling wood, or Sawyer, Sawyer. There are professional logging and milling. There's some pretty good ones. I can't think of the guy. Out of the Woods is the guy's name. He got a southern accent. Does a great job. Does these nice little musical interludes, but he just cuts up huge logs, and then gets excited at the grain that he finds on the inside. And nobody explains it. If you like machinery. Just a quick tip, by the way, then I'll move on. Shift arrow button, the comma and the period on the keyboard, the arrows left and right. Shift left, shift right while you're watching YouTube, and that's how you change the speed. It's kind of violates all the sacred codes of a video editor to change the speed of a clip, but sometimes you just kind of fast forward through some stuff, like tutorials, and you don't need to hear the guy talk about what's coming up in the video. You just read the description. I know what's in the fucking video. Just get to the part where you tell me the tip. Shift, boom, and it'll say on screen 1.25x, 1.5x. I've been doing that a ton lately. And it's also good for the milling videos, because sometimes they don't always go fast forward speed, which is fine too. If you just want to watch a big milling machine cut through a huge log, it's fine. But sometimes I speed it up a little bit. And then you can it's kind of like a way to pretend you're a conductor, You know what I mean? Like going to the concert, wanting to be that Brazilian guy with the wacky hair and the little white stick, making a whole bunch of band members play music. All right, good. Thank you, guys. Bum Rush Industries, check it out. Today I did spend, this is a transitionary story here. I did have to put in, I did do some therapeutic woodworking today. I'd been teasing, you've heard me in the last one or two podcasts talk about something I wasn't going to announce because I was waiting. And I have an update. I am never going to announce it. canceled. It's over. Not happening. I'm not involved. It was a small writing thing. I was very energized and flat, and I was very happy to and I've been putting in some hours on it. Actually, for a little bit of money, more than enough money to incentive. I mean, I would work my ass off for $50, but whatever. I'm not trying to get into it. It's not about the money. Whatever. Money obviously helps, especially when you have very little. But point being, I wasn't surprised. It actually makes sense. I was actually kind of in agreement. I even was like, yeah, I probably would have advised you guys to not do this too. Like, this is the right decision. I went to business school. I know, yeah, you're making the right call. So, and it's all good, healthy relationships, and I'm nothing contentious about it other than the death of hope. So I had a little slice of hope, and it had energized me a bit. I dusted off my script writing software, and kind of, I've always been a writer before anything else. I wanted to reawaken that part of my creative pursuits, and the writing. This had sort of got my fires going a little bit for putting words down in an organized manner, intended to keep someone company while they're taking a shit. So it fell through. Didn't happen. I even told the guy that he could tell me to use the words "you're fired." I don't know why. I just wanted him to know that it's okay. I don't. You don't have to butter it up. It wasn't. Yeah, whatever. Point being, it hit me a little hard. My bathtub is full. My stress tub, and little things like this kind of go, oh, ooh. It was like one of the few little glimpses of hope I was enjoying. Like a relationship, when you're dating somebody, or like a few dates in, sex or no sex, but you're feeling good, or you're not, but maybe it doesn't go somewhere, but there's that imbalance. You like the person more than they like you, or maybe you think they like you, but that's mostly just sort of enthusiastic hope in the way, or even when it goes for a little longer, a few months, maybe, whatever, it goes on a little while. And while it's going and maybe going somewhere, not to say necessarily towards marriage and kids. Hey, so you want to make babies so that we have someone to bury us? That's a little intense, but you get this little feeling of hope. We start to have a little sheet of paper with little hopes. I'm going to have someone to be there on a Friday night. I'm going to have someone I can make dinner for. I'm going to mansplain what a mirepoix is. Nice things. She will introduce me to some shows on Netflix, and I will force her to watch Stargate SG-1. And we will get horny watching the Titanic show, meaning the movie. I had this weird fantasy. I really want to get a girlfriend and just like watch Titanic and just fuck the whole time. Isn't that weird? That's a little weird. Not the whole time, 8 to 12 minutes. Then you watch a little more. Wait till the ship hits the iceberg, then go at it again. Maybe your hands are roaming about. Rose and Jack are drawing each other naked in the car, in the Model T, ruining the interior with coitus fluids. Very rude. Very rude. I mean, that's the only good thing about the Titanic, is that whoever's car that was didn't have to clean the jizz off the seats. I wouldn't have sex during that scene, because that's just, honestly, that's vulgar. Then the ship starts tilting up. And you're getting horny again, because, things tilt. Things take on, they don't pan, they tilt, and woo. And then when he drowns, stand up 69. That's what I would do during the drowning. I can't believe I put this on the internet on purpose. This kind of thing just must make me unhireable. Not that anybody would listen this far before deciding it's not going to work. Yeah. Oh, what the? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. So you get these little pieces of hope, this little list, and then it doesn't work. Every relationship pretty much ends. I mean, I've had some nice endings to where it's just like, you know what? Let's just be really honest with where you are and where I am, and let's see. We can. Or I've not done a shit ton of dating in my life. I was a little bit of a late bloomer, but I've had enough to experience a range of these types of things, including the ones where it's like, well, we'll never see you again. And I'm like, yeah, well, I'll respect that. That's fair. I don't want to see someone who told me that. That's weird. But most of them have been very healthy, though, actually. I'd like to build out my roster of, okay. Diet Coke. By the way, guys, drink Pepsi. Don't forget, drink Pepsi and melt down the plastic caps into plastic bullets to defend your gas station fortress during the apocalypse. So then when it doesn't end, what do you do? What do you do to that little list? Why does it hurt so much for a relationship to not work? The rejection, it stings or kind of hits you on like involuntary parts of your emotional core. You don't really have control over it. You have control over how you respond, but you still have this pang, this internal womb pang. The relationship baby is now dead inside you and slowly being reabsorbed into the nightmarish walls of your nutrient chamber. Well, why does it hurt? Because you have to kill hope. You have to take that sheet of paper, you have to crumble it up into a little ball, and you have to throw it into the Michael Jordan garbage basketball game with a little backboard on the garbage can. Boom. The hope hits it, lands in there, and it's a sarlacc pit of death. You murder hope, and it hurts to kill hope. So today, I had to deal with some dead hope. I had a little dead hope baby, a little dead stillborn hope baby in me from this writing thing. I wish I was cool enough to say it just rolled right off my skin, and I'm not that cool. But I've been through emotional shit, and I knew that I just needed to let it process, let it sit. I laid down for a while. How quickly do you lay down when this kind of thing happens? You try to hold it up for like 15 minutes to be like, I'm just gonna get to work. I'm gonna keep going. But I was like, fuck it, I'm laying down. I laid down before the conversation was over. No, that's not true. But yeah, I also think in like less stressful times, these days the bathtub is a bit full of stress, so the spillovers are a little quicker than usual, than it should be. Then nobody should have a full bathtub of stress. Anyway, point being, goddamn, I'm going on and on. I dealt with some of this emotions, and it's nice of me to be able to process this verbally via my politics podcast to you. So thanks for listening to this. And I felt it. It sucked, And I gave myself, this is a trick. I don't know if this is good advice or not, but I'm going to share it. A time limit. Just verbally. You can even say it out loud. I recommend crazed smiling into a mirror while you rub lipstick on your chest. No, but just give yourself be like, all right, look, this sucks. There's some feelings here, but I'm going to let it. I know that the correct response is not to spiral out of control and allow the depression, because depression clouds and anxiety, those, they kind of loved the self-hatred stuff, and all those things sort of love, they love a good opportunity. Like they see the wind shifting, they're like, ooh, we can swoop in and take over and really cause this. So that's not the right way to respond to something like this. So I was like, all right, good. You can feel this for a little while. Just chill the hell out, lay down. What a privilege it is to be able to respond like that. And I was like, give it a half hour, or give it it had been about an hour, but I was like, all right, you got a half hour more. Maybe you only need 10 minutes, maybe you need 20. But the trick that I think is, though, the time limit makes it seem silly, kind of like you still feel it and your feelings are valid, but a time limit is like saying, all right, good. You know what? We're going to let this be. We're going to validate the existence of this. It's very meditative, actually. It's sort of like low key how meditation works, is you don't ignore feelings and thoughts. You just sort of reassert a sense of control over them by not trying to control them, but by allowing them to dismiss. Just to sort of, okay, well, keep going. I guess there's just... And anyway, so the time limit, and then after about 20 minutes, you feel ridiculous for waiting until it's 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Like it sort of sets it up for you to be like, all right, come on, get the fuck up. So I still felt it though. It doesn't all go away. And I did a bunch of good emotional woodworking today. Not crying or anything like that, but like I got out on my balcony and I made like 5 or 6 really nice candle holders today. So why did I what the hell was the transitionary part of this story? Super thrilled to be using my new, I built a small, my bench has my workbench has a vise on it. Not like a huge, great one, but it's like a woodworking vise. And vise, I guess, V-I-S-E. It's really strong, and although it's currently broken, I fucked it. I gotta fix it. But the handle's broken. I built a smaller vise out of a pipe clamp that I had. I had 4 pipe clamps, so I use a small 12-inch pipe, and I made a secondary vise that is much better for sanding and holding things a little higher up too, because I'm kind of tall, so it's actually better on my back. But it's so much easier to like do the work that I need to do as far as like shaping. And I've been doing power carving, which is fucking great. I have this old tool. It's a nice tool, but I've had it for like years. I bought it way back in Chicago. It's like a Dremel, but it's like for, and I was using, anyway, whatever. But I love to talk about it so much. It's so great. But I turned this negative day, this feeling. Also, I totally agree with the decision. I thought it was a good choice. It's like it's like, yeah, I get it. Into a productive afternoon in terms of like a therapeutic. That's so powerful to have something. If you don't have woodworking or you don't have your woodworking, you can maybe, that's a healthy thing to have in your life. A lot of people have pets. A lot of people have heavy petting, meaning a relationship. I don't have either of those. So I got inanimate objects upon which to, tease out their luscious curves and grains, and eventually, hopefully, a way for podcast listeners to support a show that they're listening to. So, good. Wow, why was I transitioning to... I did think I had some other direction for that to go to the web. I don't know. All right, I guess I'm just trying to say I'm grateful that even though things are pretty scary money-wise and future-wise and career-wise and all these other ways and health and age and all the other shit, all the usual crap, I'm just very grateful to have an outlet like woodworking to help me to be there. And I do it when I feel good too. And it's also good to do when it's just a really wonderful trait. Also a terrible hobby for someone with no health insurance. Not smart. Not smart. I fucked up my finger. I got very lucky. Nothing broke. In fact, it's not even that bad, but I was being sloppy. I was in a hurry. The way you can get hurt in woodworking is infinite, basically. There's so many opportunities to injure yourself, and you need to be vigilant and smart, and that basically comes down to being slow. Don't rush. Of course, I was rushing, just trying to cut a corner by not clamping something down, holding it. And I do a lot of holding things with my hands. Sometimes it's safe to do drilling without holding, but I was whatever. I should have clamped something when I didn't, and it spun out, and it whacked my finger pretty good. Nothing broke, luckily. It's all healing, nice and fine. Neosporin is magic goo. Works incredibly well. And I also had a similar spin out today. I was holding a drill. I was doing some heavy drilling with a 1.5 inch Forstner bit, which is a way of carving a really flat bottomed hole into a piece of wood. The flat bottom is where the candle goes. Those votives, those tea light candles. So when I start selling these things, you're going to get one with it. That'll be cool. That'll be fun. Because you could, what kind of jerk sells a candle holder with no candle? That's like selling a shoe with no foot. So I was, these things are pretty strong. My drill is not like a exceptionally powerful drill in any way, but it's it's 20 volt now. It's a good drill though. Like even a weak drill could fuck some shit up, right? So, I have a bum wrist anyway. I need to get therapy on my wrist. I can't put my weight on it. Like for a push up, it's really annoying. I've had this for about 2 or 3 years. And I just wasn't being careful, and the drill caught funny, and the thing just spun out real hard and torqued my wrist a little bit. I was like, fuck, don't be an idiot. That was stupid. That was totally preventable. And that's also part of the bum rush industries, Jesus Christ, this is going, is to show that in the videos. I want the mistakes and I want the near misses in event. And there's blood in some of these. There's no blood in any of them yet, but there's definitely been times in the last year where I've been doing woodworking and caused blood to be on the wood and stuff. And so when that happens, that'll be in the video. So yeah, bloody woodworking. It's nice. It's terrible. I should have health insurance. Everybody should. Okay. What the hell else? I think that's it. I don't know. I could go on and on and on. I was going to yell about fucking Dianne Feinstein saying today that she's not sure if Senator Cruz that the Senate is a place for people to express. Like, are you out of your fucking mind? The Democrats are such cowards because they're not on different teams. You've got, here I'm quoting a stupid tweet, but you have two parties in this country. You have the GOP and you have the GOP paramedics. Biden is going to rehabilitate the Republicans more than any other candidate could have of the Democratic field. He's going to do it. And these old dinosaurs like Feinstein, they're also on team Republican. Schumer is talking about sharing power with Mitch McConnell. The Democrat majority leader Schumer should be able to appoint the leader, but he's going to do 50-50s for the guy. Like, why would you do that? The Republicans would never in a million years offer the same to the Democrats in this situation, in a 50-50 split Senate with the vice president being the tiebreaker. That's ridiculous. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess I just ranted about that. Fracking? Fracking's back, by the way, guys. Fracking, they're not banning it. Biden, Harris, they're fracking it. They're fracking everything. So don't worry. If you're concerned that there won't be enough gas pumped out of the ground, enough old technology, by old I mean destructive, the kind that needs to be in the past, the kind we got to get rid of, the kind we should be investing heavily in, not just in new technologies, but in using existing technologies like efficiencies and weatherization and all the other ways that we could improve shit. And it's there's so, oh man, it's gonna be bad. But the fracking folks are in the fracking and the health insurance folks are back. So don't you worry. At least it won't be some fucking slob that wants to fuck his daughter, right? Of course not. What's there to worry about? Biden just wants to fuck his dad. He could drive a car. Cool. All right. You know what? That's a good note to end on. All right, guys. That's been a podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Hope your feelings are okay. If you're having a hard time, don't worry. You'll be dead eventually. Long time from now. No, but hang in there. You're doing great. You're not as weak. Let me start that over. You're not as powerless as you have been trained to believe. And I'm saying that as a lifelong practitioner of powerlessness. That's one of the things about, here he goes about the fucking depression. But that's one of the tricks of depression in my experience. I'm not trying to say it's yours too. Maybe you'll relate or not. But one of its fundamental lies is that you're powerless, that you don't have control and you don't have power to make things better or to work on things or to improve things. And, you believe that. You trust it. So, yeah. All right. Well, you're doing okay. We made it. Got to the end of the Trump era. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, fuck. I got to check the news. So let's see what the pardon. This is going to make me all upset and angry. I'm clicking on Twitter. Let's put this in the screen. I'll edit it down. Let's see if there is a pardoning to be upset about. Here's a link. Trump has talked to associates in recent days about starting a new party after he leaves the White House. He wants to call it the Patriot Party. All right. That's fine. That would be, you got to keep that gristle mill, right? What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, Newt Gingrich sells books. You got to keep selling shit. You got to keep selling stuff. None of these monsters have. Newt Gingrich ain't making candle holders on his LA balcony. I see Steve Conway, or whatever his name is, Bannon. Oh, Trump has decided to pardon Steve Bannon. Okay. For what? Wait, he was arrested for something, wasn't he? Yeah. That's not a surprise. He was his campaign manager, this fascist, this global consultant, I don't know the right word, practitioner of fascism, Steve Bannon, who's, he's been all over the world. It's, he turns up in other countries when they're having elections and is always on the side of the fascists, and he's sort of an outright fascist. All right, so Steve Bannon. I'm just the thing that I know he's going to pardon a bunch of goons and a bunch of the escapees from Arkham and Beep Bop and Rocksteady and everybody else in his orbit. And who are some other villains? AC Slater. He's going to pardon Billy Bush and finally let him out of the Verizon bus. So Bannon is totally to be expected. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Well, I was expecting it to say that he pardoned all the insurrectionists. That might be tomorrow because that'll probably be a fairly big news story. So all right, well, that's interesting. Didn't see. I was just assuming that was this is called how I would do my Twitch. Oh, I gotta get back on that Twitch. It all got overwhelming last year. It just felt like too much. But I definitely see some value in doing Twitch and working on animation stuff. I want to do some woodworking Twitch streams. If anybody wants to tell me that they would watch that, it's much more likely to happen. I don't want to talk during it, so I would probably get a whiteboard and write stuff maybe, but I would have to, it'd be a bit of a pain in the ass. But it might be kind of cool just to put my camera on my workbench and just, you get to watch a guy do woodworking. I don't know. Why the hell not? If you're not monetizing what you do, then are you really an American? If you're not desecrating a beautiful hobby by trying to turn it into a business, are you really living? I don't think so. All right. Excellent. Okay. Well, all right. Now that was all underwhelming, the Twitter reveal at the end. Now we're at the end. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for liking and subscribing and bell clicking and getting taking care of yourself and taking care of each other. We're going to do it. It's going to be good. 2021, here we come. We're coming, baby. Oh, yeah, and the scene where she throws the heart of the ocean into the water. The heart of the sea, the jewelry. The old lady goes off to the ocean and fucking pisses away several $1,000s worth of jewelry. What an asshole. Anyway, if I had a girlfriend, I'd be like, whoa, I know we've already had sex 8 times. Let's do it again. Although, to be honest, we'd have to watch it in slow-mo. Because, I'm older. My recidivism rate... Wait, no. My refractory period, it's just... Sorry. Don't blame me. I didn't invent this shit. It's Darwin's fault. Goodbye. Love you. Bye-bye.